What's up, space pirates? This is your captain, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and just about my favorite fictional character in the world is Indiana Jones. So, I have been hoping desperately that the upcoming Indiana Jones and the Great Circle would be good. But more and more, I am realizing what I'm actually going to feel about this game.
Disappointed!
Now, I never watched Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I read the spoilers that leaked before the movie came out, and it was apparent that this was not a movie that was made for me. Of course, I wasn't alone in feeling that way because that film completely bombed at the box office. They couldn't help themselves but replace Indy with a strong whammon character, but I thought maybe, just maybe, with this new Indiana Jones game coming out, they would have learned their lesson and dropped this woke shit.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Well, I've been wanting to discuss this game for a while now, and I was just waiting for some more news to come out about it, hoping that that news would vindicate the game, would make me want to play it. But now I have something to talk about, and I have to speak up, because it seems like the inmates are running the asylum again. They felt the need to include a disclaimer denouncing the 1930s Germans that are depicted in their game.
Why are you the way that you are?
How pathetic are these people that make these games that they felt the need to include a disclaimer like that? By implication, since Steven Spielberg did not include a disclaimer like that before in the original movies, then they're saying that he must be embracing 1930s Germans. That is absolutely nonsense. I have been seeing things about this game that made me think that once again, despite my love of this storied franchise and my love of video games in general, that this game was not made for me. But now, this disclaimer makes me strongly suspect that in fact the game was made for the modern audience. I'm sure that this is the modern audience's reaction to that disclaimer. But for any of us who were hoping for some delightful escapism using the world's coolest archaeologist as our form of escape, well, this is what we're thinking when we see this disclaimer.
Oh, shit.
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or X, or whatever you want to refer to it as these days. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. But alright though, let's dive on into this Indiana Jones and the Great Circle situation. I was already wary of this game when a few months ago it was announced that Indiana Jones's female companion in the game was going to be his intellectual equal, which, on its face, that isn't a problem, but knowing the track record of Lucasfilm properties over the past several years, when I hear about a female character popping up in one of their franchises, I just immediately assume that she is going to upstage our classic hero. And then we also heard that the game was going to emphasize non-firearm combat. Players would be incentivized not to use guns, and a part of me thought this was probably some kind of an anti-gun statement. I mean, you can't blame me for jumping to conclusions. My suspicion for games and movies these days is something that I have come by honestly, but neither of those things was enough for me to make a video about this game. But now, with this disclaimer, which apparently it says that the game is, quote, not intended to and should not be construed in any way to condone, glorify, or endorse the beliefs, ideologies, events, actions, persons, or behavior of the 1930s Germans and fascist regimes. With this disclaimer, I felt that I had to make a video about this game. It's absolutely incredible that these soft-ass turds who think that games need disclaimers like this, it's amazing that they think they are in any kind of position to lecture anyone else about anything. But beyond all of the fears that I have about the game being woke, what I actually want to focus on right now is the reviews that I've read about the game that have come out in the last few days, because it doesn't sound very good as a game. It sounds like they tried to turn this into a stealth-based game and that it's very clunky. Now, I'm actually a big fan of Hitman and Tenchu Stealth Assassin. Those kinds of games are awesome. I love that kind of game, but Indiana Jones really needed to play a lot more like Uncharted. I mean, the reason that I enjoy Uncharted games so much in the first place, and I was drawn to those games, is because Nathan Drake is kind of like a modern age Indiana Jones. But let's read a little of what this PC Gamer article here says about the game, just so you can see what has me so skeptical about it. The headline says, "After 3 hours with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, I don't think it's the grand adventure Machine Games is pitching. It's just a fairly basic stealth game." We're going to skip down a ways to right here, though, where it says, "It's a slightly chaotic and precarious kind of stealth by design. I'm sure you can slink through bad guy bases like an unseen ghost if you really put the effort in, but it felt natural to swing between effective sneaking and moments of panicked brawling. It evokes Jones's scrappy underdog nature. He's not a ninja, he's an improviser. But equally, I don't think there's a ton of meat here for those who do love a tense stealth experience. To support that cinematic feel, guards have been made about as intelligent as the heavy objects you frequently hit them with. And while there are elements of immersive sim design, such as alternate routes to discover, they are all very light touch. That keeps things from getting too slow and cerebral, but when stealth is the core experience, I do worry that the systems here are a bit too shallow to stretch across a whole game." And then we're going to skip down a bit here to where it says, "But after pining for something other than stealth, when I finally get it, it's less of a breath of fresh air than I'd hoped. This tomb raiding sequence is strictly linear and scripted, leading me between insultingly simple puzzles and quite awkward platforming sequences that keep popping me queasily into third person to swing across a gap or hang off a ledge. Players often complain about developers splashing yellow paint everywhere to make it bluntly obvious where you need to go, but the Great Circle has the opposite problem. Your next handhold or swing point often blends into the background, making it unclear how to progress." I think you get the picture. Most of the reviews that I've read from people who've had early access to the game have a similar impression. The game sounds like a fairly weak stealth game, which isn't exactly what I had in mind with Indiana Jones. I confess, I'm still hoping that the game ends up being good, but with this disclaimer nonsense, I am pretty close to adding it to the list of woke shit that I recommend against. It wouldn't take much more than a nudge for the game to cross that line, but I'm gonna leave it there. What are your thoughts on this game? Drop them in the comment section below, and we will talk there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.